everybody, and welcome to the Performance Racing Formula 1 Season 13 Fangio Saudi Arabian Grand Prix. I'm Callum Hosty, and I will be taking you tonight around the trials and tribulations of the Jeddah Corniche circuit, where Formula E is currently being hosted in real life this very weekend, but it is Formula 1 here in Performance Racing Formula 1. And what a treat we have for you tonight, because not only do we have a sprint, I'm not getting a sprint myself, but they do exist. And the AMS guys are now, over the name of Josh, have introduced a self-voluntary balance of performance, as they will have to start the Grand Prix on soft tyres, qualifying tyres, or if there is a wet start, they have to use full wets, no matter how wet it is. So that is all to come, but I want to say thank you very much for joining already. We love the viewers. Let's put the link into the Discord of everybody, and then we'll go through the championship standings. I cannot wait to talk about this tonight, because we're going to have a little bit of a slog tonight, but it's going to be a whole load of fun. Stay with us. Stay with us, because this is Jeddah, and often crazy happens at this place. So stick with me. Stick with us. Let's put the old stream link in for everyone in the Discord, the PRF1 Discord. And go through it all. So, the format that we'll be using tonight for this sprint will be a short sprint qualifying, a 50% sprint. A short qualifying, a 50% race. Grand Prix, if you will. As we do have someone leaving the pits now. It is a Red Bull. And I will just go for the championship standings very quickly, as Robert Snipes leads us out of the pits now. Bear in mind, with short qualifying being a thing in regards to the sprint, you have your mediums and softs there ready to use. The obligation from the game to use mediums or soft disappears. Thus, in real life, you have to use mediums in SQ1 and SQ2 and softs in SQ3 should you wish to use a slick tyre if the track has not been declared wet. But while we are waiting, let's have a look. By the way, probably ought to put tyre on. At the standings here for PRF1 Season 13 Fangio. We have in the lead, of course, who else could it be? AMS Casper, the winner of the first 6 races on 279 points. With bear in mind, it's 50 for a win and 2 for FL. AMS Godwin in second, 82 behind, but he has 197 points. One of the other race winners this season, having won in Azerbaijan. AMS Axel, AMS Casper team, and the defending champion and fellow Swede, 95 points behind with 184 points. The winner of the Dutch Grand Prix last week, taking advantage of AMS Casper's fuel. Turns out it was fuel trouble. And then you have AMS Apple equal with AMS Axel 180 points, but of course, Catback one win versus none. He's 4th. Robert Stacks in P5, 170 points, 109 down. He's Steven in 6th, 158 points, 121 down. Misfits in 7th. 135 points, 144 behind. Now, AMS Trappy, the louder champion, still 104 points. AMS Josh, 98 points. Mass Spread in P10, 94 points. Super 711 for 77 points. Speed Freaks, 44 points. And the Smith on 20 points. And PRF1 Cloud, the league owner, with 10 points. As we have someone on a set of intermediates, Eric Jelly NL might want to change his mind. As we have the constructors, as we will now go off board with Robert Snipes. Sabre are leading with 463 points. Ferrari second with 305. Racing Bulls have 295 in third. Passing fourth with 288. Red Bull in fifth with 216. Aston Martin in sixth with 162. Williams in seventh with 104. Mercedes in eighth with 103. Alpine in ninth, all from the season opener with 58. And McLaren in last with 46 points. Plenty of reserves tonight as well, as we just wait for things to hot up. And we have Dartlord 93 in the McLaren. We have the real Damon Hill in the Red Bull. We have Ollie Champ in the Aston Martin. We have Shove Your Pink, the Frenchman, in the Alpine. We have in the Williams. I'm assuming it should have been Tom JM. But he's not here, as I can see. We have Ransdale, one of the regular reserves, in the Haas. We have Erk Jelly NL in the Alpine, and we have Big D 6432 in the Williams. Anyway, Robert Sachs will be the first to set a time. What do we have? It's a 129.172. And, well, I'm not quite sure how good a time that is. I'm sure that'll be beaten. He's on mediums, and it is early days. It is early days. Now, let's go with Amos Josh as he heads towards the end of Sector 2 in the Racing Bull. That's, of course, the Racing Bulls Josh team, which is what we love to see. Which is no longer a thing, actually, if I remember. This isn't Amos Godwin now. Where is Amos Godwin, by the way? I just realized Amos Godwin's not here. Godwin, what are you up to? Anyway, Amos Josh coming through turn 26 into turn number 27. Hard on the brakes, going and taking a very wide entry. Misses the apex, talking like almost a 1.5 seconds lane took there as he heads towards start-finish line. Where does Amos Josh go? He goes third with 180.889. Ransdale set 127.982. Amos Josh at the 120.235. Now, time for a bit of all natural. Ollie Champ, it's all down to you. And with that lap, Ollie Champ sets a 130.862 with Ransdale still setting the pace. On those medium tyres, we'll probably flick that to best just to see what's actually going on. That 127.982 in a realistic Haas, that's a very competitive time, especially for the standards that we've seen so far. I think Ransdale could easily be the race winner tonight, as well as the sprint winner. He's just so talented. And to give him a Haas rather than a Sauber, that is very curious. That is very curious. Let's give Amos Apple some airtime. He's invalidated, so he's probably not going to set a time. He's on mediums anyway, so probably took that as a sighter. The real Damon Hill, who isn't actually Damon Hill. It's actually called Matt, I believe. Heading through. Goodness, how many turns now? We're through 9. Now into 10. Using that Red Bull effectively. Oh, didn't he go through 11, through 12? There are so many corners here. It's hard to keep up. Now, into turn 13. Looking very composed. Heading the slam through 14 and 15. Heading into the 16, 17 chicane. And there is contact there with the inside wall at the through turn 16, but he's still going. Still going on the DRS, heading towards turn number 22. Looking very, very. Don't know how to describe this lap from real Damon, but you can tell he's lacking a little bit of confidence and bite and commitment. But as I've said before, there is a race driver in there. I am sure he will do good things in the future. He just needs to get to grips with the gear and how league racing goes. Anyway, the rhythm are coming to cross the line, and he sets a 1 minute 31.082 to go P9. Remember, this is short sprint qualifying, so it's this one session and one session only. With a Spaniard slippery salmon, with the Sir Lewis Hamilton helmet. I can slippery salmon put it. It will be a 129, 128. Interestingly, that is a time on softs, as Andrew picks missed time as well. So it's a real Devonhill, he was on softs. Okay. Amos Apple is now electing to pit. And then we have ERC, it's probably not Irk, Jelly, and L. You can guess where they're from. Anyway, in the Alpine, they're heading towards turn number 22. Through 21 we go now. It's a 101.857 after 2 sectors. Can Alpine finally score some more points? Having got a very good hauling around number 1. I haven't really seen anything of Alpine since. Mainly because they've not been there or the drivers have just fumbled the ball. But rest assured, I reckon tonight they'll do something. Here they are coming towards that finish line. ERC Jelly NL sets a 1 minute 29.460. And now we go with the most experienced man in PRF1 here tonight, Fuse Demon, as he heads in his Red Bull, heading down towards turn number 22. Just 1 minute 1. Very committed there from Fuse. Very committed as he heads out of turn 24. After he turns 25 and then 26. So many cars here. Heading towards turn number 27. Imagine commentating on the North Leaf, that'd be even more complicated. That's MS Apple. That's retired from the session. He surely can't have done that on purpose. Surely not. Let's use him. That's 128.343. That is a very, very, very curious time. I mean, where is Amos Godwin? Is he not? He's not taking part tonight. I was only chatting with him very briefly some time ago. Where is he? Amos Godwin, if you are around, please let me know. As Misfits has also called it quits, apparently. Not quite sure what's going on. And now we go on board with PRF1 Callum as he tries to steal a toe from the front of me. But man, this is going to be a one and done deal, as Americans would say. He is extraordinarily close to Robbo Snipes. Extraordinarily close. Is he trying to get a psychological toe like a MotoGP rider does? Can he transfer onto 4 wheels? We're not quite sure, but after set to 1, he's sticking with that Ferrari. So he's clearly not being too shabby. Amos Casby was set to 127.785. Soviet Pig does not set a time as he crashes on the exit there. Turbo Climb Hosty on the exit, turn 17. I'm in PRF1 Club's got a 5-place grid penalty. Oh my goodness me. That's incredibly unfortunate there for the league owner and the Lancashire. Meanwhile, AMS Axel, the winner last summer and the defending champion, can he find sprint pole, if you want to call it that? Heading towards the start finish line. AMS Axel, he pins his team AMS Casper by nearly 2 thousandths of a second. But once again, the Swedes are so close in a former qualifying session. Unbelievable. That is quite something to behold. And it's only PRF1 Clem left to set a time. I don't think he's going to set anything great here with that front wheel dodge. And he chooses to pit. And that will be P15 there for PRF1 Clem. That is deeply unfortunate what happened to him with Shelby Pink. But that is the beauty of the damage model. And it will be Amos Axel who will claim the sprint pole position for the Performance Wrestling Formula 1 Season 13 Fangio Saudi Arabian Grand Prix. I can confirm, by the way, that AMS Godwin is struggling So you connect to the session as per the Discord chat. I hope you can get in soon because, let's be honest, having AMS Godwin is always a good thing. He really does produce presence around here. And to be honest, he's one of my favourites. But it was AMS Axel who took pole position for the sprint by 2,000 of a second for his teammate Amos Casper. Defending champion versus championship leader in the same team, from the same country as well. That is going to be tasted. Then we have Ransdale, AMS Josh, BCM, Norbert Sykes, the Big D, the Dialogue, Superstar, Masterford, Andrew Pitchliff, ERC Jelly, NL, Ollie Champ, the Real Devon Hill, PRF1, Clem being the ones who set a time. But PRF Clem will start last. Bemis, Apple, Sugar Peak, and Misfits, the three who did not set a time. Don't get anywhere. The sprint is coming shortly. Here we are. It's time for the sprint. Now, what types have people gone for? Because the fitness habits have gone different. Oh, yes, they have. So, we have AMS Casper in second, Ransdale in third. AMS Josh... No, sorry. I am lying to you. Not AMS Josh in fourth. ERC Jelly, NL in 12th. And Pierre and Clem at the back. They're all on hards. The prime tyre. Everyone else is on mediums. The option tyre. Now, I will say the hards will be better at the end around this distance. It's only 9 laps, but the hards will be better at the end. But the mediums are the one you want to have at the beginning. This is going to be interesting because in real life, we've never, ever seen a hard used in a sprint. Ever. For whatever reason. But in the game, it can and will work. And if you don't believe me, well... The Midweek Madness League, Season 1, Chinese Grand Prix. I was the only one to start on hards, and I won the tie. Then again, we all know Shanghai can have a savage side degradation. Here it can be difficult as well, and the hards don't wear too badly at all. So, don't rule out the hard being the tyre of choice, but only 4 have gone for it, and you never know. Safety cars at an interesting time could prompt those towards the rear to do something they don't have to do. Stop. Remember, sprints and F1, there is no rule about tyre compounds or any obligations to stop. You can do if you want, but you don't have to, and it usually will be disadvantageous to do so. Go comes from the sprint, says MS Godwin. I'd lose the stream if I did that, Joshua. I'll have to say no, unfortunately. And you're stuck on Spectre. That is a little bit... Oh, dear. But tell you one thing, AMS Godwin. If you can spot anything, drop it in the chat so we can all see. We can all see. Seen quite a few disqualifications there. Here we go. As we see those at the back eventually make it. We're waiting for Shelby Pink, the Frenchman, heading towards the grid. Frenchman, French car. Oh, c'est magnifique. Le pilote français? Le voiture français. Here we go. The first time tonight, we have 1 light, 2 lights, 3 lights, 4 lights, and 5! And the Saudi Arabian sprint is a go! AMS actually gets the best of the AMS Casper, unsurprisingly, but it is getting very close behind between the Talon and Fused Demon. But as Pierre and Clem now is a text message to be collision with ARC Jelly NL. What's happening with Pierre and Clem tonight? Something's happened with Jelly that I'm not quite sure, but it's AMS Casper who's leading, but AMS Casper, Ransdale, they'll be both sitting there pretty on their hats. AMS Josh, she's here in the Talon 93. Then a big deep, and then we have Robert Snacks, Masterford, Andrew Pitchliff, Ollie Champ, Slippery Salmon, who appears to have had a moment. I've had a moment now. Oh my goodness me. At the exit of turn number 11. Oh dear, that's very unfortunate there for the Spaniard. Very unfortunate. Very unfortunate indeed. And he's not for me. Meanwhile, Aries Axel still leading. No full cost yellow for anything that's happened so far. There's a lot of debris around. Oh, MS Axel's gone deep there. Into turn 22 and 23. AMS Casper is going to potentially set up, or will he sit behind his teammate? You've got it all. Defending champion as the championship leader. As AMS Casper to the inside on turn 27. He doesn't quite pull up, but he gets back in the top. Unbelievable scenes. They're going side by side. Got start finish right, but Amos Casper ducks back in. Does he have a look to turn one? Oh, you bet you. But Amos actually smart. Meanwhile, runs down Amos Josh fighting behind him. Oh, it may only be a sprint, but they're giving it hammer and tongue. Amos Casper thought about it there to turn 4. Before better off Ransdale, meanwhile, just about to reclaim the position of Amos Josh and PRF1 Callum decided to retire from the sprint already. That is a great shame. As his team of Slippery Salmon comes in as well, which will presumably free for a wind change. And obviously a new set of tyres. But Amos Apple making his way up. He's already up to 12th. Very poor for Amos Apple. If he wants to get a child's competition, he needs some big points today. And we're seeing Apple 2+ instance as predicted from Amos Josh. And there is huge running back. Gotta say that everyone is close. We saw Amos Josh there take some contact with the wall. That's gonna get Fused Demon. Interest. Salmon's also retired, leaving the pitch. I'm assuming that's by choice. Apple has red floor damage. Amos Godwin is saying, which will be some intel because he is in their party chat. Oh, there must have been a lot of contact at the start. You know, Amos Josh looking very vulnerable here. Has to be said. He will lose DRS if things says yeah. You know, Robert Snipes and Big D. There's a swap there and a re-swap. It's all happening here. Meanwhile, as Amos access the fast lap of the race, Big Demon on the inside of Amos Josh. Easily blast blind Diaz. Meanwhile, the Dark Lord had to look for Big D, and Big D makes his way through into turn 2. And that is the McLaren relegated piece, and Robert Sides looking very interested. Massive spread looking and seeing if he can benefit too. But it's still Amos Axel in the lead. His teammate, his compatriot, Amos Casper still second. Ransdale, the Englishman, the Brit, still in third. He's doing me well, looking to hunt them down in that red one. Can he overcome the deficit of having DRS and get in there and potentially do something? Well, massive spread. A rubber snipe. Route 13 side by side, the Aston and the Ferrari. Here will win out in the run down towards turn number 16. It'll be Robo Snipes. That may be a disadvantage because the DRS is going to be a factor. Is massive spread letting Andrew Pittsmith through? Or did he have a moment there? I think, from the looks of things, it's had a moment as he had to defend from Andrew Pittsmith. I'm not quite sure what happened there. Did he give back some time that he unfairly gained, maybe? I'm not quite sure. I'm not quite sure about that, but he is harvesting. He's used a lot of battery. Battery will be at a premium here. Meanwhile, we'll head towards the leaders. If Axel, Amos Casper, and Ransel on that trim. Refused even try looking to get in. That's already a third sprint distance. Oh no, as Amos Josh round the outside of Fugium. Recuse that position for here for the PRF1 Season 13 Fangio Saudi Arabian Sprint. A lot going on here. Oh, I'm not quite sure what to say. They're leaving me breathless. They're leaving me speechless. There's action everywhere, up and down. Meanwhile, Amos Casper has retired. I've missed that. What has happened to Amos Casper? I am not quite sure, but Amos Casper is out of the Saudi Arabia Sprint. That will be the first quote-unquote non-finish for the championship leader. Amos Godwin will be kicking himself for us not being able to join. And Amos Apple being himself won't have with recruiting much at all. It's all on the defense champion Amos Axel. This is a dream for Amos Axel. Amos Godwin not in the sprint. Amos Casper out. Amos Apple down in 10th. The defending champion, this is the sort of day he needed. One where he's also getting a bit of luck. But that leaves Ransdale the only one left on hard tyres towards the front anyway. And more crucially, that DRS has been broken. Meanwhile, Fused Demon, here he goes on Amos Josh. He thinks about into turn number 27. But he thinks better of it. Now applying the battery. Who can use that Honda Red Bull powertrain power unit better? It appears, at least on this occasion, it will be Amos Josh. Oh, there's been contact between the Red Bull family cars. I'm not quite sure what happened there. Prepared Fuse may have got a bit deep, and he has lost the main plate, but with 5 to go. I think he's going to have to hand it out. But this is not a track you want to lose out in performance with so many quick corners where you rely on a downforce, particularly the ground effect that these generation of cars did have historically. That's going to be painful for Fuse Team to handle. Meanwhile, Robert Snipes out of turn number 11 somehow manages to get the $93, who appears to be taking the high line. That is a very NASCAR-esque. But he's starting to struggle at McLaren now. The hards will start to kick in, but we've only really got Ransdale and Jelly as rough fact that the only rough side, but only Ransdale's the one towards the front who can actually show us how things are faring. Just look for any close battles moment. Well, Amos Apple is in a DRS train. He's not been able to do anything for a while now. Big D is close behind. Yes, he is. He is close behind Fuse Demon. You are right, Amos Godwin. I didn't notice that without saying it, though. Meanwhile, Massred looking and skulking on the Dark Lord. I don't think Dallas got DRS there. Jelly gets 3 seconds of multiple warnings. And Massred easily blasted by the Down 93 to claim P7 here in the sprint. Meanwhile, Andrew Pittsmith managing to keep Amos Apple behind. Amos Apple is a bit stuck. DRS streams around here are quite powerful. Stick with the low winds you have to run. Slipstreaming becomes very difficult. It's high winds where things can be a bit easier around here. Creator Series show that very well with their high wind mandatory setup that they ran a few months ago, but they had to run 50-50 winds. But this is quite the train. If you can see here, there's a train for the win between a locomotive and a carriage. You have 3 interested parties preferred in that trim. And we have 6 interested parties here. As we've got Misfits on the back of this. Quite a few trains here. Which one do you want to look at? I'm not quite sure. So let's have a look at the one for the lead. Those hard tires starting to come in. As we said, Amos axle sides are not looking great now. But if we look at Ransdale's, they're looking quite a bit better. They've still got a slightly shinier sheen on. Look at that. Hat's closed in on the Sauber. Now, how does Amos Axel fight this here? I'm assuming Amos Godwin, this is all tyres. Because the hards will start to perform better than the mediums. I know they started on a third of half fuel loads. That's 1/6. So only 1/6 of a tank of fuel they'll be running approximately. But the tyre wear will still favour the hard tyre around here. Look how close Ransdale is as we head through the S's in the first sector, through turn 8, now into turn 9, and then into turn 10. It looks like he can handle it through the dirt. Yeah, I mean, Amos actually had a slight swapper there. And that's going to bring Ransdale right into play. Will it be the Brit? Will it be the Swede who will succeed? With 3 laps left, who is to say? As we now head out of turn 13, through the run to turn the 16 and 17 chicane. Ransdale is looking very good. He can just stay there. Amos Axel and swaps it at the exit on turn number 17. Oh, my goodness me. But the Swede is about to drop an open goal of Amos Godwin not participating. His team at Amos Casper out. Amos Apple down in 10th. And this is something that Amos Axel could not afford to do. He could afford second to Ransdale in a sprint. Instead, he's going to lose P number 6 to Master Spread, who will only be too happy to take the position, but they've both got DRS. Amos Axel going to try and hand out with dodge. Meanwhile, behind, look at this Amos Apple around the outside of Andrew Pittsmith, as he. Oh, wow. But the McLaren recoups the position back. This is incredible. Look at that. But DRS has been lost by Andrew Pittsmith. And that's why Amos Apple and Misfits are going to blow by. 3 wide. Andrew Pittsmith sends it back on the inside of Amos Apple. There was contact, I think. But wow. Amos Apple, chip and changes against effort. Meanwhile, Amos Axel losing to Master Spread. I guess the announcement's not coming for Amos Axel. He's just got to hand on. 2 laps to go. He's got to hand it out. There's some of it. Understeer looks painful as Jelly gets set up for speeding in the pit lane. Not quite sure what he's trying to achieve there. There's no FL point in the sprint. And as MS Axel gets out of the way, and he's probably just trying to survive now. Meanwhile, Misfits looking to try and improve as Jealous chosen to retire. Like I'm sure might choose to retire. You never know what can happen. And there's actually 2 to go as well. But wow, what a bit of racing we just had there. But we now look to second as AMS Josh is under pressure from Big D, who has passed Fuse Demon. Fuse Demon still struggling with that damage. Robust, nice creeping in on them. Has to be said. But Master's not too far behind either. Who is going to claim second for this? But I think Ransdale has played an absolute blinder with his tire strategy. He's put the defending champion under pressure and he's cracked. I cannot imagine all the Swedish swear words that MS Axel must have been thinking in his head when he dropped it there at the exit of turn 17. Meanwhile, Misfits has overtaken Andrew Pittsmith, as we've seen on the timing tower. I am just generally not what's been going on. I'm not a fan of sprints, but this one has been crazy. Has to be said. Has to be said. This has been quite wonderful. But it has to be said, Ransdale has played this absolutely perfectly. And if he does, quote-unquote, win the sprints, it'll be well. Meanwhile, the Dark Lord has 3 seconds multiple warnings. That's going to dropping down quite a few positions because MS Apple, Misfits, Andrew Pittsmith are all in close proximity. Through turn 17 we go for the fight for P2. Big D just hanging on. Meanwhile, even the Rails Urban Hill has now got its claim. MS Axel here. No DRS there for Big D, but will he be able to claim it this time around? Surely he will. Yes, he does. Can he do anything about MS Josh? It appears he's too far back. But we have to look at Ransdale, as he will claim the PRF1 Season 13 Fangio Saudi Arabian Sprint. As MS Apple overtakes the Dark Lord for P number 7. MS Josh will claim P2, Big D, P2, meanwhile, Robert starts the master spread to the line. I apologize, it's master spread and miss. No, MS Apple misfits. I don't even know who's whom. Oh, it's all chaos happening there. But AMS Axel has to be the story. With AMS Godwin not participating in the sprint due to his connection issues. AMS Casper retiring. AMS Apple being mired. He was 10th at the time and everything happened. That's enough to go for AMS Axel to recoup some points, and he's missed it. Meanwhile, it was Ransdale who won that sprint from AMS Josh. Big D, 6-4-3-2, Fuse Demon, Robert Snipes, Master AMS Apple, and Misfits. Your traditional sprint scorers. Andrew Pittsmith, the Rail Devon Hill, the Darlon 93, AMS Axel, and Ollie Champ, your other finishers with the Shelfie Pink, finishing P14 and a lap down. Right, qualify next. Don't go anywhere.